audience. Welcome back.
Welcome back. We are Clickbait.
We're Clickbait.
Yes, please stop confusing us with. We are formerly known as the Audacity,
right?
But we're pro now. We're in a production company
called Adler.
Adler Network.
It's a real network.
Yes, we're not making it up. A lot of greats have podcasts in there, so check it out. And we're so excited to hang with you today.
Yeah, and thank you guys for sticking with us through the rebrand. We know that clickbait means like a lie and then you click it, but that's not what this is. We under promise and over deliver.
Yeah. This is us reading the internet, so you don't have to. It's just like a fun journey that we all go on.
Yeah, it's our just fun scrolling journey, and our For You page is our For Us page.
Yeah. By the way, it's winter. I know Karen's wearing a tank top, so don't get confused.
Our picture, if you're on the YouTube where you see this, a thumbnail, we promised you boobs. Now, I did not deliver that. I catfished you, and if you click this looking for boobs, you are not going to find them here. But I did bring out my shoulder meat.
I resent that. I actually resent that because if you go
chest
through no. If you go through any of our clips, I bring the boobs.
She brings the boobs, but I bring the bones.
Boobs and bones.
Boobs and bones.
We were having so many sound issues.
I know.
Don't tell me astrology is not real.
I've never told you that.
Literally, Mercury's in retrograde.
I've never
and
said
you guys
that to you.
can literally all go fuck yourselves because Mercury's literally in retrograde, and there's sound issues.
And I want to say this, that when we started this podcast, you remember, Amanda, when we started the podcast and you were like, we can't start it right at this time because Mercury's in retrograde. And everyone that we were dating was like, you girls are so dumb, and we were like, no. And then we kind of met in the middle. We did start it during Mercury retrograde. You can just fast forward this part if you guys don't care.
But we've had some bumps in the road.
Yeah, and that's because of the planets.
The planet. Do not tell me astrology is not real.
You can just DM it to me and I won't show her. But don't say it to Amanda.
Mercury.
She hates it.
Mercury's in retrograde in Sagittarius. So
what does that mean?
Sagittarius is like fun, celebration, excitement, the truth. Sagittarius are the most exciting people in the world, but when you get into a fight with them, they will tell you the truth about yourself because they are.
Ooh, buckle up.
They're not stubborn, but like when they think something's the truth, it's the truth. Gemini, which you are,
that is stubborn,
right? But they're not.
That's annoying.
But they're like go with the flow and they're about like exploring and independence and like travel.
What animal is Sagittarius? Is it horns?
It's an archer.
Oh, it's an archer.
The Sag is like the rabbi, it's like people, it's like higher education is Sagittarius, transportation, Gemini Sagittarius is like travel, independence.
Wait, what sign is transportation?
Gemini. Okay, local transportation. No, Gemini. So you're opposite Sag because Geminis like to gather information and Geminis feel like there's multiple truths.
Wait. Which sign is international travel?
Sagittarius.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, what's the local train?
Gemini is your local community, the siblings. Gemini is the student, Sag is the teacher.
Oh, what's traveling to Mars?
That's Sag energy.
What is Elon Musk?
I think let's look up his birth chart. In a second. Let's see here.
I put you on the spot. Sorry.
Elon. I know astrologically they say Elon Musk and Trump are like, if they were men, like a male female, they'd date.
Really?
They're like
they're so compatible.
They're like,
so if Elon Musk looked like Ivanka Trump but wasn't related to Trump, they would be married. Astrologers say they are so freaking compatible, these two, like astrologically. You guys heard it here first and probably the only time ever.
He was born June 28th. He's a Cancer?
What does that mean?
Cancers are like nurturing and loving and intuitive, but Cancers are very moody.
Oh no.
Very moody, and they're very protective of the home. Cancer rules the home and the family and the mother. And so when you fuck with their home and you fuck with their friends, they get like they get like angry sensitive. If you have a Cancer in your life, they get angry sensitive.
I don't know. What birthday is that?
It's June 20th to July 20th is Cancer.
Oh, June 20th to July 20th. What's the one right after Gemini?
Isn't it Gemini Taurus? No, Gemini Cancer.
Is it?
Yeah.
So if you're right next to a sign, do you have influence of it? Like, does that mean you're like a little bit like that? Or is it not? Everyone is separate?
No, actually, you're like the opposite. Like, so they say every astrological sign is an answer to the previous.
Oh, the pendulum keeps swinging.
Yeah, so it's like Gemini wants to spread the message. Like Taurus wants to fertilize. Like Aries is the start.
He does. He has like 12 kids.
Yeah, right.
He does want to fertilize.
Right.
And he wants to colonize Mars. He wants to fertilize so much, everything.
And his moon is in Virgo. And so his Virgo is a lot of Virgo moons are very, very successful. They're detail. Virgo is detail oriented. They are they're detail oriented, very analytical. But Virgos, they're type A, but they want to master so they can serve. It's actually very they want to serve Virgos.
Virgo, is that early September?
Yeah.
Okay, I dated a Virgo and he did not want to serve.
Serving. That's what. No, but they're anal. They're A type. They're very particular. They're very critical. They're very they're like the sign of the doctor, the medicine. They want to like make you. They're very practical.
Oh my God! Don't tell him that. Blow his head up. You're the sign of the doctor. He'll be like, really? He wasn't a doctor.
But he was like anal A type.
Yeah, he was type A. Well, which has its beautiful qualities. Like people who are type A get shit done, and he did. But he was also very critical, very judgy. Yes,
their Virgos are very, very critical.
I'm not like a slob, but I'm not that kind of Virgo.
Oh, you're Gemini. You guys squared. Yeah, that's not because you're both mutable. Yeah, square. Gemini and Virgo would not.
We were like square peg in a round hole, so to speak.
Mutable because Gemini wants to spread the message, and there's multiple truths, and you guys are great. Oh my God, no one can communicate better than a Gemini.
That's me all day long.
Geminis, they want to spread the message. They want to communicate.
I do.
Yes, and they want to. They're students. They want to learn, and they want to learn multiple things.
It's crazy.
They like to do other things.
Can I just say for the people, I brought Amanda to a party. And I was like, Amanda, I'm going to just go for like an hour. It was so hot. It was the summer. And when I got to the party, it was hotter. For some reason, not for some reason. There were like 200 people there and it was in an apartment. And I got there. I texted you. I was like, I think I'm going to leave. Like, I can't. Some girls came up to me and they were like, are you okay? They started dabbing me with paper towels. And you're like, no, I'll be right there. So I parked myself for the AC. Anyway, long story short, you got there. We stayed there until like 4:00 in the morning. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
you were such a hit. And then we invited all those people out to the next show and sold it out.
You did. You worked. No, you did that.
No, but it was a team effort because you read everybody's charts and the charts of like their families and the people that they're in love with. And you told this one guy and it touched his heart. You were like, you looked at his chart and you go, because he's like dating. And you're like, you know what? If a girl asked me if I should date this guy and I saw your chart, I would say, yeah. You should. And I watched him melt. Oh, I watched him melt his heart. It's like, thank you. And that is like one of your best party tricks. And also it's really sweet to say that to men because like people don't really say like nice things to men that much.
No.
So when you tell them you're like a good guy and I see it even when other people don't, like, it gets a man heart.
Men love being like, I'm one of the good ones.
Right.
Can I tell you?
They love being really seen. I know everybody likes that, but like.
No, it's right because men are. How do I say this? You're going to probably say it better than me because you're the Gemini.
Ooh. But you know me so well.
And your Mercury's in Gemini.
What does that
Mercury's the way you think and the way you speak. So that is like Gemini.
It's like double down.
That's like, you are an excellent communicator.
Thank you so much.
No one can, but you are. I mean, that's you.
I can't wait for the comments to weigh on this and be like, okay.
No, but you are a communicator and Geminis are so fun. Everyone thinks like Libras are like the sex. They're always like, oh, Libras are beautiful.
I've never heard
Geminis.
people say that.
That's because Libra is ruled by Venus and they're really into aesthetics and beauty but I think Geminis are the sexy. Let me go through. I just interrupted myself. I'm so Gemini. Gemini is a very AD sign, air. But let's go through the famous Geminis in history.
Okay.
Angelina Jolie.
I mean, I'm right here. Yeah.
Brad Pitt. Marilyn Monroe.
Okay.
Johnny Depp. The way these people communicate, it's not that they just like communicate. They have a way of communicating that bring people in. Like Johnny Depp, the way he's I'm not I know he's like hits women. Okay, I understand that.
but women also hit him. Can we just say
yes? He gets hit. He gets into hitting fights.
I'm not. He gets into hittings.
Yes,
we can just say that.
Yes, he gets into a relationship and he also participates in the. But Johnny Depp is very like, I love the way he's sexy the way he talks.
Yeah,
and he made everybody laugh. He made everybody laugh during that trial.
He did.
It's the Gemini.
And what's before you can or be? What's step one? You have to make them laugh.
Charm.
Right.
Angelina Jolie, the way she communicates is so sexy because it's like subtle and she like brings you in.
Right. And she lets the camera come to her.
Yes. And she is. And then Marilyn Monroe was like everyone thinks this is a hot take on Marilyn Monroe. Everyone's like, oh my God, her childhood, she must have been. But she was like she was a Gemini sun, Aquarius moon. So I don't think how do I say this? I don't think she was as sensitive about it as everyone thinks. I think she was fun loving. I think she like was like the life of the party. She would say like cute, sexy things.
Yeah, but sometimes the life of the party, just like how comics are always making people laugh, but are some of the most like angsty, upset people.
Yeah.
like have all these depression
Sad.
issues, right? Then I feel like maybe with her, she was the life of the party and whatever. But then it's like, you know,
The sad
who
clown.
asks the clown how they're doing? You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right.
who takes care of the clown?
All the JFK and his brother.
Well, not who has sex with the clown.
Both of them. Is that
Who
gross?
cares for the clown?
Yes, you're right.
You know,
Yeah. That's so sweet.
right? Am I okay?
You have a good chart. You have fun.
What were you going to say before you interrupted yourself?
I don't know. I get so excited with astrology. It's like I just think Geminis are every sexy sex symbol in history. I feel like is a Gemini.
Really?
Maybe not every, but the big ones.
I accept.
Brooke Shields is a Gemini. Angelina Jolie is a Gemini. These are like beauty. These are like Marilyn Monroe. These are like unique beauties.
They're iconic generational beauties.
Right. They're like once in a lifetime beauties. Like that beauty is not going to happen. Even if like in your family there's like a cute girl, like no one else in their family is that strikingly beautiful. You know what I mean? It's a phenomenon.
It's the phenomenon. It's the kind of genetics that sucks all the hotness out of the other family members. I once met a guy and he was so beautiful. He was so unbelievably beautiful. I have a bit about it in my hour, like this tall, hot, sexy doctor. Like I was just like this Jewish guy. I couldn't believe it. And he has a bunch of siblings, and I'm on the inside, I'm sure that they were gorgeous. But on the outside, he took all the hotness in the family. There wasn't a drop of hotness in anybody else.
A big discrepancy.
That's an understatement. They didn't even look like they looked like they were related. Like their features kind of looked similar and they had similar coloring, but that's where it stops. Like his siblings look like you microwaved him.
Made him in a factory.
They look like you if you took him and left him in the sun.
Oh my God.
And they were so nice. I only met one of them, but she was lovely.
But it was a phenomenon that it was like the perfect
it
storm.
was a genetic freak, yeah, mutation, like permutation that,
right.
You know what I mean? It means like the family is capable of producing hotness, but like once every 100, you know?
Yes, but I feel like that's like every family. How do I explain
Is it? No, some families are hot.
Some of them are very attractive. They're but like Angelina Jolie and Brooke Shields, and we've talked about this before in the podcast.
We have.
They have a beauty that's just phenomenal. It's a unique beauty.
Right.
That's what they're called. It's like even if the family is like John Voight and her mom were good-looking people.
Right.
But they weren't her.
No.
They weren't like striking.
And her kids are beautiful, but none of them are quite, and I know they're all kids, but none of them are exactly, let me say this, hot plus hot doesn't always equal hotter.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
No.
Sometimes hot plus hot equals kind of mid or
Attractive.
just okay, right?
Right.
Because that generational, it's almost like when you have like an Einstein or whatever, like his kids aren't Einsteins.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
But
Like
Einstein
where are you going to go?
happens
Up, up, up?
Right,
No.
right. But Einstein happens is a phenomenon. Right. Okay. But anyway, so those
There
are
a couple other famous women on the screen right here. We
I
have,
love you.
Look at those
Nicole
gorgeous- Oh my
Kidman,
God, Kate
we
Upton,
have-
Lana
How
Del Rey,
stunning.
Bara Faeli. Oh, what is Gal Gadot? Can somebody look up what she is? Because
give me
she's
1
the
second.
most beautiful woman that I've ever seen in my life.
she must be Aries. I feel like she's Aries. She's so like
How do you know?
she's like very like fiery and
Well, 'cause she plays
Elon
a-
Musk. I'm sorry to interrupt
She's
you.
a Taurus.
She's the Taurus is very
Plot
beautiful.
twist.
Taurus is beauty. It's ruled by Venus.
Really?
Taurus is like stable. It's stubborn. It doesn't like spontaneity. It likes to do the same thing every day.
I don't know
It likes
her.
luxury and comfort. And but we don't know her moon. I can look up her astrology, or we can move on. Do you guys want to move on?
Yeah, let's do a video.
Well, you were talking about. You know what's so funny? So.
Here,
You were talking about calling people mid
bones,
So
yeah.
okay, have you seen Wicked? Are you one of the Wicked girls?
Okay, I'm not one of the Wicked girls, but when I moved to New York, I saw like one of the first Wickeds on
did?
Broadway. Yeah, it was right after Adina. No, Adina Menzel was still in it, and Kristen Chenoweth was not.
Okay, gotcha.
And the guy from New Kids on the Block, which I'm too young to know about, but I heard that people like Gen Xers love this guy.
yeah.
Something Mackin something.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I'm too young too. Why are you looking at me? I'm too young too.
I don't know. And Andrew is also a baby, so we're stuck.
We're stuck, but
Yes, and it was in college, and I became obsessed. We all became obsessed with the music. I don't know where this is going, but yeah, I was a Wicked
girly.
adjacent.
You were a girl. Okay,
Kinda.
but I was more of a rent girly. So like
Okay.
I'm not like. But what Wicked is doing is making us re-examine what the Wizard of Oz and Glinda is actually maybe the villain. Let's just watch the clip.
Right. It's just kind of a bitch. Okay,
Let's
I
watch the
forgot.
clip.
Okay.
I'm loving this revisionist history that Glinda hated Dorothy. So first of all, Glinda disses on Dorothy from the beginning. She comes down in her little bubble and is like, yo, Dorothy, are you a good witch or a bad witch? And Dorothy is like, what do you mean witches are ugly? And Glinda is like, no, only bad witches are ugly. You see, I'm a good witch. I'm beautiful and I have a pink dress. Okay, Glinda, but you just asked Dorothy if she's a bad witch. So are you saying that Dorothy is ugly? Like, at best, she called Dorothy mid because she's like, I can't really tell if you're good or if you're bad. Like, you're somewhere in between there. Then Dorothy goes on to sing her little song where she's like, it really was no miracle. It happened just like this. The wind began to switch. And Glinda is not having Dorothy's moment. She's looking around at the munchkins like, is this girl serious right now? Like, she's literally wasting my time.
It really was no miracle.
Watch.
What happened was just this.
Glinda's throwing
the
shade.
wind began to switch, the house to pitch, and suddenly the hinges started to unhitch. Just then, the witch,
See her face?
to satisfy an itch, went flying on her broomstick.
She's like, is she still
Is that why people ask me if I'm a good witch or a bad witch? Am I like a 4?
We can't tell. Are you hot or are you good?
I'm a Gemini.
Can you imagine if that becomes like the new slang? Like, is she a good witch? Like that's like the new like urban like.
If you just called the new slang, then what do you get? Nothing. But
Like if the new thing is to go, is she good witch or bad? Like if you want to say someone's mid, it's like, is she good witch or bad witch?
That's a sick burn.
Like that's a sick burn.
you're calling her like a 5-6.
right because I can't tell.
Oh.
You are calling
you
her
hot?
mid.
Are
Yeah,
you-
you are definitely calling them hot mid. But Glinda's. Did you see Glinda's reaction to Dorothy? I never noticed that.
I never noticed the eye roll.
Yeah, she's like, bitch, shut up.
Oh my gosh.
We don't
She's
care.
like,
Is
it
this
is-
story over?
It's a shrug for me.
She's like, is this story over? This is so boring.
I know. Who is this average? You think you're a model, you're not.
Yeah. Oh, why is your dog in a basket?
Why do you think your shoes make you hot? They don't.
They
it's
don't.
shoes.
I know.
I can buy them.
Well, didn't she steal it from the Wicked Witch of the East?
She stole.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Well, Glinda gave it to her, and then, but also what's shady about Glinda is Glinda didn't tell her to the end of the movie. Like all along, Glinda knew you just have to click your heels and say, "There's no place like home," and she didn't tell her that to the end of the movie.
I'm not even remembering The Wizard of Oz correctly.
Yeah, that's what.
Because I don't remember. Wait, is that true? She
Yeah.
withheld critical knowledge?
Yes, because
so
she
at any
wanted
given
her-
moment, she could have clicked her heels and just pieced out.
Yeah.
And she was just like, nah, I'm not going to tell you.
because it was part of her journey.
Oh my God.
It was her own agenda because, like, you know, from Wicked, like, she had beef with the Wicked Witch of the West. We're just looking at revisionist history, and we're actually seeing Glinda's the bad guy.
No, that is Wicked, though.
I know.
I thought that was the point of the musical.
Maybe-
It's like, actually, the good witch is a bitch.
Yeah, but that shade. Remember, did you see? Literally, she was like, "When is this story over?"
Isn't that every girl you ever went to camp with? Are you a good witch or a bad witch?
Is that a real Louis Vuitton? Is that real Juicy Couture? Yeah. All right.
Why do you look like that?
Why do you look like that? All right, because that was so fun. But speaking of hot girls, I've always said this. I feel
Okay.
like hot girls smell bad, and this clip agrees.
Topic is my jam. Like, I could talk about this all day as a girl who lives in Miami. I promise you, a lot of these girls, a lot of these pretty girls, her hygiene is chopped, bro. Like, it's actually insane. I remember when I first made a video about Alex's hygiene, people thought I was, like, hating, and I'm just like, bro, I don't care. Like, body tea, like, I'm not a hater. Good for you. But I could just tell she was musty. Like, how you gonna be a Trump supporter and racist and dirty? Like, please, choose. You can't even... So you actually have to pick a stroller at that point. Like, choose one. She said triple homicide. Anyways, I could tell this girl is like one of those musty Miami party girls that like leaves their room messy, does drugs, drinks, and you would complain about, oh, I'm breaking out left and right. I know like sometimes you can't control acne and all that stuff, but a lot of it also has to do with hygiene, what she puts into her body, her routine. Girly pop won't take showers for days. Yeah. The vomit dress. I can't believe this was the moment people found out that she was like nasty. Like, this was gross too, because I was like, this is relatable. If you guys don't know, like, she threw up on her party dress and left it in her closet for a year. So that means her room must reek and no one probably goes in there. Braxton, this is who...
First of all, there's so much to unpack there.
Yes.
Okay, because she was like, how are you going to be... She just combined... Like, did you see her slip in the things that do make you smell bad with the things that don't make you smell bad? She's like, how are you going to vomit on the dress and be a Trump supporter? Like, well, only one of those things is smelly.
Right, exactly. Well, I think this is actually accurate. Not the Trump thing. I don't care about that. But... I remember back in the day, people said that Kristen Cavallari had terrible breath.
I don't buy it.
What do you don't buy it?
I don't believe it.
Why wouldn't you believe it?
Did you see her last boyfriend? The hottest person I've ever seen.
Yeah, last boyfriend. What happened to him?
He wanted kids with her, and she has 3 of them, and she was like, it's not going to be me.
Well, maybe she started brushing her teeth, but there was a thing going around the internet that actually Kristen Cavallari's breath smells really bad. She doesn't brush her teeth. And people say that Leo on sets like farts. Like, he'll just fart.
But these are 2 different things, because Leo's not hot anymore.
Yeah, but when he was a hot guy, he was smelled like his hygiene was.
Oh, like what's his name? Like, you know how Marlon Brando became disgusting to like protest being hot?
Yeah, like they're so sick of being hot.
This is hot people problem. By the way, this is like, you're hot. I think, I'm fine. But it's like, maybe you get to a level of hotness when everything bores and disgusts you. And you're like, what could be? I've done everything hot.
Try. We don't have to try.
Right. And just hot people are always coming away and you're like, it's like how people, it was a hot take. It's like how like the very rich and powerful, like the very, very rich and the very, very powerful, when they got tired of 1%ers, let's say 1%ers, when they got sick of doing everything else and there's nothing else interesting, where did they go? Epstein Island. It's like that. When you have everything, when you're so hot, what do? You stop showering because it's the next frontier.
Well, to that train of thought, you know how like wealthy girls in New York don't wear makeup?
Literally.
They don't wear makeup.
I know.
They wear $1,000 sweaters.
And no concealer, nothing. I know.
Because they don't
Bare
have
face.
to prove their wealth.
And also because good skin is expensive.
Yeah.
So they're like, I don't need to put anything on it. You might need, poor person, to put makeup on your skin because you can't afford to just have it be perfect.
Right. And you need to be beautiful to have access to things. I don't need to be beautiful to have access to things because I'm wealthy.
I can just be when they do put on makeup, this is the genius of not wearing makeup regularly, is that people get used to just your regular face and they're like, yeah, she's cute. And when you do put on makeup, you're like the hottest person anybody's ever seen.
Because you get like a professional makeup artist.
Yeah, and because people are just not used to it.
And we've talked about this, and in 1% circles, getting Botox is considered declassé. I'm talking about like old money. And I don't think like new money 1%ers, but actually, let's look at like, I'm not throwing shade. I think this woman is beautiful. Not Mackenzie Bezos. Melinda Gates.
Okay.
She's aging naturally.
She has $1 billion.
She's aging naturally.
Why would she need to age any other way?
She's not getting Botox. She's not getting fillers. She's not getting anything.
You know what would make me feel so secure about any wrinkle I ever had? $1 billion.
Well, that's the point. It's like she has access to things. She doesn't have to be hot she has money.
Right.
And so a guy will marry her because she's got all that money.
When you have everything, it could be money or hotness. I think you loop back around to like, nah.
Yeah, and you're over it.
You're over it.
And the old money in those circles, I remember because I noticed with the Ghislaine Maxwell, because Ghislaine Maxwell comes from 1% money. She was one. I was like, how do you have all that money and you look your age?
Yeah, but she's also European, and the Europeans like don't really.
They like a little bit ugly.
They don't care about age. Like the way that Americans treat aging as a disease, they're not like that. Like,
Right,
they're
defensive.
so much more chill. Yeah, and also to your point about old and new money, I'm not saying everybody in Europe is old money, but Europe is the quote unquote old money of
that's
the West.
true. Yes,
and so America, we're kind of new money. Like we're all smooth, we're all tan, we're blonde, and they're like, calm down, new money. Like
tacky.
you guys are trying so hard. Yeah, it's tacky.
Right.
Save money, have a wrinkle. Like it's gonna happen.
Right. And maybe it's a sign of all those old ladies in like the Upper West Side or whatever shopping at Barney's. They look old. They look like old ladies.
Okay, but some of them don't. Some of them look insane. Some of them have their faces pulled all the way back. Eyes are on the opposite side of their head.
Those are the Slavic girls that marry.
Hairline goes all the way back.
Those are the Slavic Eastern
Sometimes, but listen, to each their own, and everything's beautiful and nothing is ugly. But I as being who I am, I don't think I'm ever gonna just be like, I'm gonna Melinda Gates it. More power to her, but I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfy.
Yeah, not comfy.
No, I'm not comfy with that.
Okay, another beauty trend that we're going to talk about. About Ozempic, obviously. So this girl has a really hot take on Ozempic that I absolutely love. I'd love to hear your thoughts about, and this is poor person versus rich person. Let's play that.
About how the increased accessibility of Ozempic is going to lead to a complete reversal of modern beauty standards, away from thinness being prized as the ideal. And I got there from thinking about the 17th century spice trade. So there's an economic phenomenon called the snob effect, where the demand for a certain good by individuals of a higher income is inversely related to the demand by those of a lower income. It's also talked about in terms of scarcity value, or the anti-bandwagon effect.
Okay, but that's literally the point you were just making. Yeah. Wasn't it? Was like once too many people have something and it's considered too cool and everybody gets a hold of it, then all of a sudden the people who are like at the top no longer want that thing. It is gross to them.
Right.
So like when everybody's getting Botox, the people at the top are like, no, forehead wrinkles are like, what's wrong with you guys? You look so poor being smooth.
Yeah, right. Right.
Or you look like an egg.
You look ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah,
and whenever maybe to her point, like when everyone's so skinny, the new thing is going to be just like being Zoftig. Like, you know what I mean? Like being pleasantly plump. And we're going to be like, you're so thin. Ugh. But, also, like the 90s are kind of a thing right now. 90s are back. Everybody's doing 90s. And what was so cool in the 90s was being sick thin.
Yes.
Like
heroin thin.
anorexia was cool as an accessory in the 90s. Remember that? Remember
Yes,
all those,
I do.
They were trying to shut down the websites that were telling girls how to not eat less celery.
Ice diet. I have a story, and it's going to be a little sloppy, the story. No, it's going to be good. Stick around. I went on a date with a guy years and years and years ago. He actually owned an injectable thing. And
Like a store?
I forgot. It's like his own, I don't know if it ever panned out, but he was trying to start a chain of injectable places.
Okay.
Anyway, I went on a date with him, and he was talking about his client that came in, and he goes, why do guys in your generation like big butts and thick girls? And he's like, I was thinking about, this client was saying to him, I was thinking about it, and it's because when it's the models that you grew up with. So if you were a teenager and the models you were growing up with, if you're a boy like growing up in the 90s and you came of age in the 90s, you like a really skinny girl, like stick thin girl.
Why do you think the story's sloppy? It makes sense.
Okay, I didn't know how like the details. Sometimes I like interrupt myself. I have ADHD, so it's just like a thing.
I'm neurodivergent, so.
But, I am. So, but if you came of age in the early 2000s with the Kardashians and Jersey Shore, you might think thicker girls are hot. Like having remember the big butt was like so in and being like a little
Oh, I
filled
thought you
out.
were going to say the opposite, that if you came up in the Kardashian era, you're going to be like, no, I like skinny girls.
No, it's
It's what was hot when you were coming up.
Yes, yeah. And he was like he was a Gen Xer, and he's like, men of my generation like stick skinny girls.
No, it's
like,
so true.
yeah.
Interesting. So this is a life hack. You have to date the kind of guy who grew up when the type of body that you have was hot.
So like 1750. I need a guy from 1750.
Go where you shine. I always, during the pandemic, this is going to be a sloppy story. During the pandemic, I used to watch a lot of professional like pickup artists.
Yeah.
And they call it Success with Women.
Yeah.
And they have all these videos or whatever. And now they kind of all got me too'd, so they're like taken down. But at the time I was watching, they had these like video series and I'd watch them.
Yeah.
Like they're like paid products, but someone
Sure.
gave me the password, right? So I became like obsessed with it. And I started making one of my own because all these guys are guys. And I was like, it's a little bit, they know what they're doing. Like they're really good, but I just wasn't seeing like girls do it, right? So I was like, I'll be the girl in the male space. So I started writing a thing, and like long story short, it's for people who are like a little losery, which by the way is like not bad. I don't mean losery in a bad way at all. I just mean like that's how you feel internally about yourself, not that's what you are.
You don't think
right?
you're a lady killer. You don't consider yourself a lady killer.
And you have, talking to women is a challenge for you, which really is just like a numbers game and a matter of practice, but I get the feeling. And one of my rules, oh my God, long story short. Long story. Can it even be a story? The rule was go where you shine. Because like if you're killing it at Dungeons and Dragons and then all of a sudden you're going to like a nightclub, guess what? You're not going to do that hot. It's not your lane.
That's right.
But if you go to a Dungeons and Dragons dungeon or whatever they call it, like a lair, then you're going to be...
That's probably not the professional name for it.
Yes, the lair. You're going to be hot shit. Like the girls are going to be like, oh my God, that's like the best dragon slayer.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like if you're plump, go for guys that grew up with plump chicks. Like if you're super skinny and that's how you're built, or you can just starve enough, then go for a guy who's like, I would say
Gen Xer.
late 40s to late 50s.
Yeah.
He's going to love you. He's
Right.
going to snap you right
Go
up.
where you're
little twig.
celebrated, not tolerated.
Yeah.
You're not successful with women because you're not with people that appreciate you.
Right. And if you're like this, like take your stick body to a 49-year-old.
Right,
He's going to be obsessed with you.
Yeah.
And if you've got a big ass, guess what? Like everybody's about that.
Yeah, a lot of guys like a more filled out girl.
So much.
I don't know if anyone likes fat, but no, I'm just kidding.
If you just have bones.
So
Let's
cute.
not go where bones are.
Yeah.
What happens to girls who have bones? And
There
that's
are
it.
men that there's absolutely a market for men that like very skinny women. I don't think that's a problem.
I'm not saying that I'm very skinny, but I will show more bone.
More filled out women, that's a niche. That's still a niche to be more filled out.
Of course. And by the way, it's I don't know. I don't think this is a hot take at all. But if you have a pretty face, you're not fat, you're not skinny, you're not anything. You're just pretty. Pretty is its own genre.
Also, we should reference that. I don't think it's right. We should preface that what men think is skinny, what men think is fat, what girls think are fat are two totally different things.
Not even related.
Men will be like, I don't think she's fat. She's like filled out. Like she's like curvy. Like what we think is fat, I'm like, oh, isn't she like thick? And it's like, well, nah,
was
she's
like,
not
no.
thick. She's She's normal.
Because guys see things in like kind of a binary. When I was in NYU, not to brag, when I was in NYU, the guys that we hung out with had a system like they didn't do 1 through 10 to rate girls. It was just zeros and ones.
Computer programmers.
Yeah. It was all in it was all in what's the computer code? Oh my god.
Binary. It's
yeah. But anyway, it was that because that like I thought that was so fun. That is how men are like, yeah or no. That's it.
Yeah,
So you don't
fat, thin, whore, Madonna or whore.
Don't stress your pretty little brain about it.
No.
Don't be like, oh, I'm a 6, but I could be a 6.5. Men don't see it that way.
No, they
see the whole thing. They barely, when you're like, oh, I don't see color, I don't see gender, whatever. Men don't see, they just see like a haze of kind of vague hotness.
Yeah.
That's it. And either you're a little more or a little less, and they're not picking you apart the way that you're picking you. You're like, oh, my under. They see it as a 0 or a 1.
Right. I also feel like men don't know why they think you're hot. You like trick. That's the thing. I think we've talked about this, but like we're like, oh, men don't look at the details, but they do. They don't know why you're hot. You know what I'm saying? They don't know why you're beautiful.
They look at the details. They just don't see the details. They see something. They see like a collection of things.
Beautiful.
They see an impression.
Right. They see like we know how to get the big picture. We focus on details.
Yeah.
But a guy can't tell. Like if a guy's like, oh, she's beautiful, and you go, well, yeah, she's beautiful. She has under eye filler and this. It's like I didn't even notice that, but you saw just hot. So
right.
My point is like
which is so sweet about them.
Yes.
By the way, men are so precious, and I love that.
Yes, and I don't think they look at the details, but I think they just. They don't realize why you're hot, but we know why we're hot because
we
the
see it in a second. So I go, oh, she's got concealer on, and
Right.
But that's not how they operate.
And they say I don't see it, but when we don't have concealer on, they don't think we're pretty. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
know.
They don't
right,
know
they're
why.
like, and it's almost meaner because they're
Yeah.
like, something's not good.
Right. Something, that is it. Something isn't right. They don't know what it is. They're not, but that's why women do focus on the details, but men don't understand, like, that's what you're finding hot about us.
No, right. Women are more like bottom up kind of things. Like details form the bigger picture. And for men, it's like they see the bigger picture and then sometimes a detail pokes through.
That's right. And I think we're all out of details, though, right? For this episode?
We're out. Oh my God, it flew. What a good... I love it. I love this show so much.
Yeah.
Do people love it?
I think
do people
everyone
love it
loves
as much as we love it? If you want to comment on it and reach out to us, we'd love that.
And go see Wicked.
And come see us perform live. We're co-headlining at the Fairfield Comedy Circle, but it's the one in Norwalk. So if you want to go to our Linktrees, it is there. We just need to caveat that on December 13th, which is a Friday at 8 p.m.
It's still Mercury in retrograde, so.
I know, but we can retrograde together.
Let's retrograde together. We love you guys.
Love you.